This is just the beginning. That's the world that we live in. Let me help you believe in what we can do when we stand united. We are one with the world. We can make a brighter tomorrow. Together make a change. It's our life. We can't step back from what we know is right. So let's shine our light. Oh, let's shine our light. We won't listen to what they're saying. We know it's just love that we're giving to this place that we call our home. We can't change what's been done, but it's still our run. We are one with the world. We can make a brighter tomorrow. Together make a change. It's our life. We can't step back from what we know is right. So let's shine our light.
I am Sanjay Roy, the co-chair of the Catalyzing Change Week Programming Committee. Welcome to Catalyzing Change Week 2024. This is where we'll not just have conversations, but we'll actually see change. We'll see change makers, innovators within the social space. You'll meet government folks and funders. You'll see people who've done excellent good practice that we can learn from. And most importantly, it'll be a place to network, learn, and exchange ideas. So do dive right in to the Catalyzing Change Week 2024 and enjoy the experience.
Hi, everybody. As you know, we have live active translation for all of you. So please click the innovative button. We have it in the 4 major languages, and we look forward to having all of you listen in on this very exciting session. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. We have panelists from around the world who are joining us in today's session of Catalyzing Change Week. Maddie, you can remove the slide. I have been joined over here by an exciting set of panelists over here. Zara, who's on my right in the screen, is the Commissioner for Social Innovation from Germany with the Federal Ministry and has been a major driver for all of us in this whole session and across the whole year. Zara, actually, this is and I will tell you more later on how Zara came to last time's Catalyzing Change Week and has taken forward the whole momentum that is there. Next on my screen is Lucas. Lucas is the director of the New Economy, and he is from Brazil, and he is, as I say, our insider into the G20 and has been supporting us in taking social innovation across the G20 and making it live. Then next to Lucas on my screen, so I'm just going according to my screen, is Asta, who's the head of the European Commission Center, which is there. And Asta has joined our group and is actively getting other European countries to join and make this a very, very vibrant ecosystem, which is there. Last, but definitely not the least, is Jorge, who is actually not just representing Latin America, but also the consortium they are trying to, Mexico, but also the consortium they're trying to set up with other LATAM Spanish-speaking countries. So this is a really dynamic group which we have, and these people have been meeting every 2 weeks on the issue of social innovation and how to introduce social innovation into the economy. Zara joined last year's Catalyzing Change Week, on a session with Amitabh Kant then and OECD, where we said we need social innovation 20. We need something for social innovators in every single country. She took that mission on. As the commissioner in Germany, she actually launched an advisory group to make it happen, made it active. She's going to tell you much more about it. And then when the advisory group was there in Berlin, she and Felipe, who's the other co-chair, said, why don't we create a government to government working group? And that is what they did. And this group has been working, and they are going to support, and they are, I say, they are our inside champions in government. Our favorite people, they are the ones who are our go-to points when we want to bring about change. So I'm really excited to have this group which wants to work with us and is inviting other governments to continue joining and create a movement of government champions for social innovation. So without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Zara, who is the chair, who's going to tell you all about the group. Over to you, Zara.
Thank you so much, Sheru. And yeah, I'm really, really happy that we are doing basically the soft launch of our Government Champions Initiative for Social Innovation and Impact. I think, Sheru, you are the major driver also of this group. You're putting all the people together. You're inviting also other countries. You're also driving it in the back and keeping us all together. So thank you so much for your support. Without you, this group wouldn't also exist. So thank you so much. But of course, we are all part of this group, all doing our best to really put social innovation on top of the national and also international agendas. And what really matters to us in the German government is that we somehow bring or dissolve social innovation topics from, I don't know, very basic, let's say, social security systems, which we have in Germany, but rather bring it towards driving the economy in a more social and sustainable way. So that's my mission, of course. So how do we really bring social innovation on top of the national agenda in Germany and on the international agenda in order to be represented on the G7, G20, especially after the UN resolution. I think we have a lot of momentum to really put it on top of the agenda. So what are we actually doing in that Government Champions for Social Innovation and Impact group? So we're leaders in the different countries that are, when we sat together and we say we want to learn from each other, we want to exchange on what happens in Mexico, what happens in Indonesia, what happens in Portugal, what happens in Brazil. We don't know, because I mean that's an upcoming and evolving topic, and we all want to learn from each other. You know, UK has already released the first impact bonds. Germany is still struggling with it. So it's really operational what we are intending, and to learn from each other which are the most effective measures. So that's the first number one, best practices in peer-to-peer learning, the mission number one of us all coming together. Second is, of course, exchanging on policy and frameworks. Third is also coordinating maybe and starting own projects, but coordinating financing. We in Germany think, how do we create impact funds? And Portugal already has set up the first impact funds. And, you know, all these exchanges wouldn't necessarily happen. And it's much easier for me in Germany to say, hey, we're not the first mover, but look, Spain, Portugal, Mexico, and Brazil are already all doing it. We should also do it, you know? So I think it all gives us more leverage in our own countries to drive our mission forward. And yeah, fourth, we also want to co-create and pilot innovative national and global projects together, and also basically boost the social innovation sector development, make it more visible. And the first project that we're tackling is here to all together, which while Lucas will explain a bit more, is to really bring it on the G20 agenda, because so far social innovation hasn't been on the G20 agenda ever, and we really want to change that altogether. Yeah, so maybe that's from the mission of our group. I'm really, really happy that we're kind of soft launching here today, especially in the Catalyst Change Week, because Catalyst has been a catalyst to this group for sure. And we also launched a website right now. So maybe we can already have some like first insight. I think we can also show a little bit of that website that's going live now. That of course also has our mission. Hope everybody can see it. Yeah, exactly. So there it is, our purpose again. And we can go up to the purpose if we didn't tick all the boxes. Yeah, I think I said most of that about the purpose, why we are really how we want to drive it forward. So yeah, maybe you're also interested in the members. So of course we have some countries already in. We really want to have that full map covered. You saw the world map, right, with the countries highlighted that are already part of the group. Of course, we want that most of the countries participate in this, not just G20 or G7 member states, but basically all around the world. We want to create that movement. But of course, we have to start. So the first one is me, the Commissioner for Social Innovation in Germany. But of course, we also have Portugal, we have Spain, we have Mexico, we have Brazil, we have Indonesia, we have Lithuania, and even Singapore. But this group is just the beginning. We are continuously growing, and that's especially our mission for this year, to have many, many more member states that join. But of course, we're all asking ourselves, what is already happening? You know, is there somehow a quick overview about Germany and about the others in Portugal? Can we somehow compare it a little bit? Because, you know, everybody has a strategy or everybody has some financing instruments, but it's very, very hard to get transparency over it. So we basically launched that checklist of achievements where we really kind of want to consolidate most of, let's say, our German efforts, and in a structure that also other countries can join and have already joined. Of course, that's non-exhaustive. We just started with it. But just to give you a broad overview, what happens in Germany already, just 6 months ago, we launched a national strategy on social innovation and social enterprises. We also have a website for that. And with that, that's the very first strategy paper of the federal German government, committing to over 70 big measures how to boost social innovation. And that goes from impact measurement, creating an impact measurement standard, to create new funding options, social impact funds, to create more research and development, to teach all the students in the universities that there's other things than just tech startups, but actually you can found impact startups. You know, like the range is really huge. How can we actually use more EU funding? How can we create more visibility? We're having a large impact summit in Germany. And yeah, all these measures are consolidated in the national strategy. Maybe to give you an overview, what kind of funding mechanisms already exist. We have ESF funding, of course, like international funding. We also have local, even impact fundings, not just of the government, but also of the country regions, of the different ones. We even have regional strategies. So some of our cities and some of our sub-countries basically initiated their own strategies. So it becomes a real movement in Germany, that we kind of want to make a big fire out of it in terms of making everyone passionate about our topics. So in the terms of regulatory framework we are intending to create an own legal form for social enterprise startups, especially the for-profit ones that don't want to are non-exit oriented. We are discussing other policies in terms of financial instruments of being nonprofit, making it easier and more accessible, all of that. Just to give some broad examples. Don't want to jump too much into it, but of course you can all read it on the website. And of course we also have a competence center. We have the leading ministries, which is not just mine. I'm basically in the Ministry of Education and Research, but we also have Sven Giegold, which is the State Secretary of the Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Climate Action, which is also where we're all really on a joint missions. And we just put up some flagship programs that are especially designed to booster social impact startup, like say with Exist, which is the biggest startup funding program, where also impact startups benefit. Yeah, so I guess everything you need to know about Germany is listed here on that website. Just check it out. And I'm really proud that we also have the other countries joining with their country profiles more and more. And also reach out to me if you have some more questions regarding this one. Yeah.
Thank you very much. This is pretty much the start of the movement for government champions for social innovation. I always say y'all are the people, the neck which makes the head move in terms of making sure that things actually happen in government. And that's what you have shown through this and will continue to do that. So from that, I'll move to Lucas. Lucas, if you can probably highlight what, like Zara said, you know, we've launched this, we're going to look what you think can be done in the G20, and then go on to sharing what Brazil is doing and how all of this builds momentum towards creating the global social innovation movement, as I call it, or the global social innovation sector. Over to you, Lucas.
Okay, thank you, Geru. First, I would like to thank you for the invitation and congratulate you for the organization of this space, of this event, especially also in the name of Bram and Zara, the people that I so much admire and that inspires me a lot. It's a great honor to walk the path of social innovation and the impact economy with you. Well, I think that this initiative, it's very important. We need to create a new economy guided not only by profit, but by the generation of a positive impact. So this leads us to a question: why a coalition for social innovation and impact economy within the G20? I think that given the social and environmental challenges, it's crucial, it's very important that we strengthen a global coalition that can mobilize, that can orchestrate and articulate concrete proposals to promote an inclusive, a more equitable, and a more regenerative economic system, especially in the G20. And why G20 is so important? Because G20 has 2/3 of the global population. It also has 85% of the global GDP, 75% of international trade, and also 8% of the greenhouse gas emission. So any proposal for a systemic and real change must be coordinating within this group. So I think that this partnership with Germany, here represented by Zara, it's very important because it initiates, and I think that it gives shape to the efforts of a global coalition for social innovation and a new impact economy. What we are thinking to do is it's a kind to write a document, formalizing this partnership, a kind of memorandum of understanding. And I think that we can initiate this MOU, signing Brazil and Germany maybe in October during the ministerial meeting of the G20, a document that outlines general guidelines and that could serve as an engagement platform for other governments. And I think that in July, in 2 months, there will be a meeting in Rio de Janeiro as part of the G20 program, where we can meet and maybe explore more this perspective, possible outcomes, and maybe build a plan of action between our countries. And why I think it's so important that government involve in this agenda. I think that's very important because government and public policies can help to discover the answer to complex problems through new solutions that are more efficient, more sustainable, and more just, because they are built with social participation. So I think that this is very important, and I think that we do this with this partnership between Brazil and Germany, and I hope that we can join and put together other countries in this process.
Thank you very much, Lucas. Look forward to G20, as you have said, really taking social innovation agenda forward. And hopefully then, as we started having a social innovation 20 work stream in, being launched in South Africa, and we're really becoming the sector I know all of you are helping us to become with a lot of data. So, Lucas, would you like to, I will then ask you also a question. Would you like to share about what's happening in Brazil just now? Maybe we can go through your website and you can give some of the highlights on what Brazil is already doing, so we are able to share that. And if we can get back on screen, Brazil and all the initiatives the way Germany has done is doing. So a quick highlight of what's happening with Brazil as we deep dive into Lucas and Brazil. And then we'll do the same for for Asta, and yeah.
Thank you, Geru. I think there are several things that the Lula government is doing to enable the social innovation environment. But I think that I would like to focus in two aspects. The first is that for this government, our government, the social participation is a method of governing. We believe in dialogue as a pathway to decision-making. This is very important to our government. But the second, more specific, it's more related to my daily work, which is the National Strategy for Impact Economy, the Impacto, it's also is how it is known in Brazil, Impacto. And I'm very glad to share Impacto with you guys. The Impacto, it's a national strategy here in Brazil that was instituted by a presidential decree of President Lula that aims to reshape our economy, drive impact business, and lead the way to a more sustainable development. Impacto is a robust response to global demands for real actions that position Brazil as a pioneer in promoting the impact economy. I would like to break Impacto in 5 key points. Number 1, bigger impact investments. We are on a mission to attract investment by offering diverse financial options, appealing to investors that are committed to solid financial results and positive social and environmental impact. Our goal is to multiply the impact investment by 10, reaching 108 billion reais until 2032, in the next 10 years. Number 2, more impact business. We are encouraging the growth of business, of impact business with sustainable goals and business that aims not only profits, but positive impact. And our goal is to multiply the number of impact business and reach something like 7,000 new business, impact business until 2032. Number 3, We are stronger the system support to impact business. We think that's very important, institutions that connect investors with impact entrepreneurs and that provide support and promote sustainable growth here in Brazil. I'm talking about universities, accelerators, incubators, and so on. And our goal is to certify all the 400 accelerators and incubators that exist in Brazil with social and impact criteria until 2032. We will work with all 400 accelerators and incubators that exist in Brazil. Number 4, better regulation for impact economy. We are very committed to create better regulation for impact economy here in Brazil. We identify 12 topics that must be addressed until 2032. That includes legal aspects, public procurements, green taxonomy, and so on. We will regulate and build a framework and a regulatory framework in these areas. Number 5, collaboration with states and municipalities. We recognize the importance of government's collaboration, and we are working with states and municipalities to transform the impact economy in our country. Our goal is to reach all the 27 states that exist in Brazil. Today, we have 10 states that already approve local legislations that promotes the impact economy. And this legislation was built, inspired by our initiative in Impacto. What we will do is to amplify this legislation to reach all the 27 states and build a national system to foster the impact economy in Brazil. I believe that Impacto is a key platform for social participation that grant that diverse voices that contribute to proposal of sustainable finance and impact economy here in Brazil.
Thank you, Lucas. That was a very comprehensive overview of, we can remove this, of all the things. I think having heard from these two governments, and then we are going to move to ASTA, so we move from LATAM to Europe, and then we'll move back to Latin America. But before we move to the next governments, I think I will just take a quick, I'll just put some comments which are coming in the chat for you all to think of. How can we finance the social innovation sectors coming? How can we create some sort of a network where we get all the data so we are more data analyzed as we build the social innovation sector? So there are a lot of questions, but these two quick questions are coming. So have a think about it, because we are going to get back with them with all of it. Asta, over to you to talk about what Lithuania is doing and also a bit about what Europe is doing. So over to you, and we'll quickly scroll through the website as you're talking.
Thank you, Jeru. As I was introduced, I'm leading the so-called Workstream B, European Competence Center for Social Innovation, and the ESF Plus Social Innovation Plus initiative. I'm based in ESFA, European Social Fund Agency, Lithuania. We are an interested entity to implement this initiative in all EU member states. And having led the creation of Lithuania's National Competence Center for Social Innovation, it's an honor to now represent my country among global leaders in social innovation. So I would like also to thank Zara and Bram for invitation to join. As participating in this group, I have an opportunity to collect insights and wisdom from esteemed colleagues. And if to talk about the Lithuania's state play. So we made a study on Lithuania's social innovation ecosystem in 2023 that unveiled a crucial truth. While social innovation activities have been developing for over a decade, they've often gone unnoticed, both on a governmental level and within the organizations championing on social innovation in Lithuania. We acknowledge the challenges that lie ahead, the obstacles we face, such as lack of political attention and regulatory environment conducive to promoting social innovation. We do not have a coherent social innovation development strategy. The collaboration among institutions engaged in implementation of social innovation is quite insufficient. Also, regarding the funding, it is inadequate, it's not sustainable, and social innovations are not always recognized as social innovations in Lithuania, but as you know, as we are having events and collaborating with other institutions, it's a common feature. But in Lithuania, we enthusiastically welcome those obstacles as opportunities for growth and progress, knowing that every obstacle we encounter is a chance to innovate, to evolve, and to make a lasting impact on society. And also we have some good news, not just the obstacles. Our Ministry of Social Security and Labor of Lithuania is currently preparing a social economy plan, which will be used as a basis for identifying priority areas for future investment in social innovation. We will have the special priority, 6 priority innovative solutions of the ESF Plus program for Lithuania, also to support the development of social innovation. And in 2021, 2023, my agency, European Social Fund Agency, together with the partners, ESF managing authorities from Belgium, Czech Republic, and Finland, implemented a project Pencil, funded by European Commission. And the result of this project was the newly created National Competence Center for Social Innovations, and it is based in my agency, European Social Fund Agency in Lithuania. So yes, we have the National Competence Center, and yeah, so it's good opportunity to learn from the other partners, and I'm really happy being invited and participate in this group.
Thank you very much, Asta, and it's really interesting to see what's happening. And we do have a lot of partners who work with us. So I hope that what has been started by Zara, Lucas, you, Felipe, and others will grow into a movement of people, you know, the champions movement. I'm just going to call it that within governments. So that's what's going to be really great. And with that, I will move to Jorge to comment about what's happening in Mexico and also some of the actions that you all are doing in the other Spanish people, Ibero-America. So over to you, Jorge.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I hope you hear me well. I am Jorge Abascal. I'm speaking on behalf of Juan Manuel Martinez Lubier. He deeply regrets not being able to join us here, but he has entrusted me to delivering this message about what we are doing in Mexico. Juan Manuel is the head of the National Institute of Social Economy of the government of Mexico. And over these years, the policy of fostering social economy has undergone a radical transformation. Previously, the government's role in promoting social policies was limited to providing resources to targeted groups, yielding actually very few results. Today, all those resources are directed towards providing universal support, allowing our institute to play a more profound role in the field of social economy and innovation. In Mexico, the promotion of social economy has certain peculiarities. Firstly, our constitution defines how the sector is composed, focusing on purely productive branches, excluding non-governmental organizations and foundations. However, it also establishes that ejidos and comunidades, communities, which are communal lands owned by the farmers who work them, are part of the social economy, and that encompass 52% of the national territory. This implies a significant effort to almost start from scratch in a national policy promoting the development of the social sector of the economy. In recent years, we have dedicated ourselves to build the largest network of social economy enterprises in the country's history. Through the coordination of the Institute, we created a program called Nodes for Boosting Social and Solidarity Economy. We call it NODES, which involves combining the efforts of at least one university, a local government, and a social sector organization. Each NODES is tasked with regional promoting support for social enterprises, generating value chains, providing technology, processes, and innovation to business in their own territories, among other things. This project has succeeded in forming over 500 partnerships with 500 nodes, involving more than 2,000 individuals for this purpose. To answer one of the questions that was held before, this network has the potential to do a lot of research to compose a database about the process that social innovators and social economy organizations are doing, sharing methodologies, and starting chain values within the territories. So it has a lot of potential. It's not being exploited yet because it's just it's very new and it's a burning strategy. Among other activities that we have launched, and as a result of the international momentum for the social sector of the economy and social innovation, Mexico has been part of the creation of the Ibero-American Network for Promoting Social and Solidarity Economy. That was the first event to create this network was held here in Mexico in January of this year. The founding countries of the network are Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Guatemala, Spain, and Mexico, and subsequently other countries have joined us, like Costa Rica and Paraguay. We have partnership with CEPAL and the International Cooperative Alliance. And also we're adding the network to the Ibero-America General Secretary, so we can be backed up by an international organization. The goals of the network are try to generate regional intervention projects for the social sector of economy and promoting social innovation, as well as to create normative and governmental structures for the promotion of the whole sector and the innovation. The effort and the creativity of the governments that are part of this network has been huge in these few months. They have come with a lot of ideas that were necessary to exploit all the potential and possibilities to unite in Latin American and Ibero-American region for social innovation and the social sector. The idea in general of the work that we've been doing has to establish the foundations for the development of the social economy in Mexico and in Iberoamerica through a new approach to public policies from government institutions. This is what we have broadly been doing. There clearly are a lot of more activities and projects, but those were the main ones that can create or expose an example of the energy that we're promoting here.
Thank you very, very much. And Jorge, and it's nice to be able to hear from you. And Vivi, I know her flight is delayed, so it's midnight and she's still joining us. She's a very active member of our group. She actually has been at the launch of Catalyst in Indonesia. So she's a government social interlink, which is really very good. Vivi, on why do you think social innovation is really key in Indonesia? It would be great if you just could give a few your thoughts on that, and then we will move to questions from the floor. Over to you, Vivi.
Thank you so much, Jero. Hi, everybody. It's really lovely to meet you all, finally. I'm so sorry for delay my flight to Singapore. Now I'm on the way to my hotel, so maybe you couldn't see me nicely because it's so dark here. A couple of reasons why government now important to engage to the social innovators, particularly for Indonesia case. There are a couple of reasons. First, I think every countries after COVID pandemic, following with series of wars, now in the positions of trying to get back to the right track on many commitment, global commitment, among others, the 2030 agenda, the SDGs, as well as the Paris Agreement, in which all of us try to achieve the net zero emissions by 2050. So in this regard, many governments try to engage the non-state actors who particularly can lead or show as well as innovate to find solutions, and more important, giving an impact. So in this regard, particularly because the more the productive group of Indonesian population now consists of young generations, the millennial, Gen Z, in which they working with digital as well as technology. So the social innovations are growing in Indonesia. So that's why the government now trying to build an ecosystem by creating a network as well as outreaching around the regions. The other reasons, in the future, I think we should aware on the uncertainty, not only from the economy or social, but also from the environment. We're facing the triple planetary crisis that create an uncertainty. So collaborations from the non-state actors, particularly the ones that already giving solutions and impact, it's really important for the government Indonesia. Now I'm talking about the ecosystem. Actually, it's still very preliminary when I'm talking about the ecosystem for the social innovations in Indonesia, but we are more awareness about not only the existence but also the impact that they are created. One of the example maybe I could give the Plana, one of this entrepreneur who deal with or who produced an eco brick from 50% of solid, the plastic waste and 50% of the rice husk. their businesses is growing. They try to register in the procurement, but the procurement system cannot provide the right classification of businesses. So on the other side, on the other way, the government should also learn from the social innovators that actually the ecosystem is not completed yet. So that's why now I'm working with related partners in Central Bureau of Statistics, in the Ministry of Industry, to complete the ISIC, the code for the business, particularly for the new opportunity or new job, i.e. in the green job, in the green sectors, circular economy, and many others that I believe in the future social innovators, social innovation in Indonesia will keep growing, and of course by hand in hand with the government, I hope that the ecosystem will be more complete. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vivi. Thank you. I think Vivi is given the example of a country which, and the reason she joined the groups and joins the meeting is to learn from countries who have created in the ecosystem. And this is, as Zara had said in the beginning, y'all are learning from each other and partnering with each other and making the change. So Vivi has just highlighted that. There's a question in the chat on why is there no one from the Middle East? Well, I think as Lucas, Zara, everyone has said, they're wanting to have every person part of the group. So the question would be, let the Middle East governments come, share, join, and learn, would be my suggestion. There's another question which is also there for you all is, how can Australia and New Zealand, which have ecosystems, join you all? Would one of you like to answer that? How can they join this group, or is it exclusive? That's the question, Zara, coming. Or Lucas, or Asta, who would like to answer it? How do people join your group?
I mean, everybody can join, so we're very happy to welcome both the Middle East or New Zealand or whoever. The only requirement is that you're actually part of like the government itself, so that you're inside, like that you're not like an NGO or outsider, like somebody that is in the political system, because we kind of want to be a working group that's of allies that are actually having some political leverage inside the ministries, because that's all our, let's say, shared leverage, but also shared pain somehow to find solutions how to strengthen social innovation within the ministries, within politics.
Zara, that means if Catalyst members know government people who want to join the group, they send a reference through to y'all check out that the person is from the government, quote unquote valid. I'm just putting it, the right words not hitting my brain. And then if y'all think that, then the person can join. So I guess this is a shout out to every Catalyst member to see if there's a point, and Australia, New Zealand, the Middle East, find the people, recommend them to this group, and they will decide if they should be or not. And the criteria, sorry, go ahead, yeah.
So definitely recommendations welcome. So if you know a person that is in charge in New Zealand for innovation or social innovation, then just also pass us the names. We don't know everyone in the world's ministries yet.
Yeah, so over here, I think we already have one more new member from the ministry in Eritrea, that New Zealand and Australia. So I think, yeah, there are 2 new members who will be joining this group is what I see. Fantastic. So with that, I think if we can move to the other 2 questions which have been posed in the chat. How can these ministries be financed, and what can we as social innovators do to support that? Any ideas on how they are currently being financed, how they can be financed? What can we do for that? Who wants to take that question? Go ahead, Jorge. Perfect. Yeah.
Taking advantage with the new proposal of the network, we've been working and having conversation with international founding organizations like the Inter-American Bank, the World Bank, the Central American Bank, and the Latin American Bank for Development. And we have known that if governments unite together as a bloc, we can have better chances to have an outcome for finances in local and regional projects with a better accompaniment and a strategy that will involve many actors in different countries. So that will be in a strategy that we are starting to develop, and it might be a good opportunity for other regions that maybe haven't had the opportunity to search this path. So that would be some advice.
That's fantastic. So probably getting more of the international banks, IBRD, EBRD, World Bank. Actually, just before this session, we had a session with the World Bank. And we were discussing how social innovators could work with bank financing to scale up their projects. So I think what may be nice is if that's happening, to create the platform and the infrastructure where you all can get involved. Any other ideas for financing from anyone else on how it can be done? No. Okay, then moving to the next question. Yeah, Lucas, go ahead.
I can talk a little about experience that we have here in Brazil regarding the BNDES, our National Development Bank. We create impact funds here in Brazil that are putting resources in impact initiatives that are help to funding them. What the important initiative is one of blended finance that we are working to how to mix private funds with public funds to foster the impact initiatives here in Brazil. I think this is some of the main forms to fund the impact, the social innovation that the world is doing.
Thank you. And I think probably there is a summit taking place on taxation and different forms of financing at the G20 in Brazil, Lucas, where we will also be meeting. So maybe there are some things which could come and be discussed on how you all can finance. It would be a great way to probably have a stream on that, so this whole sector gets financed. So maybe that is something this group can also lead in the taxation aspect and see different aspects. That would also be a nice way which countries can take or not take.
Sure.
So I think that would be a really nice way of sort of building the circle through. Also, many of you mentioned, actually all of you mentioned that you all are working with multiple networks. And there was a question over here of how do we create the infrastructure where social innovators can reach out to you. So how do you suggest that can happen? You said you get all the hubs together. How can that be more? Zara, I see you have unmuted. Yes.
Yeah, maybe one part first about the financing. What we are also working on in Germany, and it's I think also known construct since we are copying it from other countries, is using dormant bank accounts to create impact funds. So bank accounts that haven't been touched 10, 20, 30 years are usually, or in many countries, just going to the equity of the classic banks and financial institutions. And there's a lot of role models, let's say in Switzerland and the UK and France, and nearly every G7 state, for example, has a rule for that besides Germany. So we are now working on implementing a social impact fund based on these dormant bank accounts that are currently unused, which is a kind of new funding source. So that could also maybe be in some of the countries room for inspiration. Japan has it, Australia has it. So I think there's different models out there. And so a model that probably suits anyone. And building the network and the infrastructure, of course, it's somehow a grassroots movement, right? the first social enterprises start doing their missions, the NGOs start, they have to somehow team up. So before we had any governmental infrastructure, we had a lobbying organization that basically raised their voice on the political level. And that was just, I think, 2015 or 16 found. And it already made like a majority of the points in the current coalition paper. So of course, team up. Maybe if there's no lobby organization already in your country for social enterprises, maybe found and for social innovation, maybe found one yourself so you get like a governmental voice. If it's already further that you have that, and there's maybe some governmental institutions already have plans in terms of social innovation and social impact. So what we have just created is a platform on social innovation where all, let's say, everybody in Germany can find funding instruments, can get an overview, can connect, where we have a series of events taking place to foster the ecosystem. We also work together with let's say, ecosystem players in Germany. Yeah, I think that's, we slowly have to start somehow that movement, and it can, I guess you can all just start it yourself if it's not there yet in your country.
Thank you. That's very inspiring. Does anyone have any other tips for us as social innovators on what we can do to start ministries of social innovation in our countries? You've told us how, if we have it, we enter, let them enter your group. But any other tips on how we can start ministries in our countries? One is lobbying, creating a group. Any other final closing words to this group? From anyone? Any final thoughts that you all have? If not, I will go through the actions which are there and the roadmap in the closing. So first of all, I would like to thank you all, because you all have been very open to us as social innovators. And thank you for being our champions in your governments. As Lucas has mentioned, in July, there could be a parallel session of governments. So if we as social innovators know governments, we recommend them to you all to see if they can be invited to the July meeting, and then a workshop on how to crystallize this. And then probably in October in the G20, having some sort of ministerial statement, which takes social innovation into the agenda and hopefully leads to Social Innovation 20 as a track, or y'all become our voice, just the way the International Network for INF is for financial inclusion. So y'all become the voices for social innovators from now to October. In addition, we will have the website, which you all have started growing. And as Zara has said, probably also, and Lucas has said, collect more ideas on how we can finance the social innovation sector, and maybe globally think about facilities to finance social innovation, so the sector, which is normally cash staff, can grow, and create platforms where everyone can learn. You all are the pioneers. You all have been fantastic in leading the way, have been so open to us. And thank you very much for supporting us as social innovators in your countries, and now joining us to create the social innovation sector globally. Onwards to July and October. Thank you very, very much, and really appreciate your support. And we are there to support you all in any way we can. So I'm sure after this session, there'll be many more countries joining your group, or we will recommend them. You all have to decide. We can't decide. So thank you very, very much. Thank you very much. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Arvind,
Bye.
Thank you, Lucas. Thank you. Bye-bye.